Hey guys, welcome back to Lap 1 News, and today I'm going to be reviewing Mercedes 2021 season. Now, they started off very strongly. Bahrain, Verstappen was leading for much of that, but in Bahrain, they absolutely nailed it. They overtook Verstappen, and they won the race, and they'd started the championship off really strongly, despite some regulations that had affected them more than it had affected some of the other teams. But from there, they tapered off a little bit. Red Bull really got their act together. Verstappen absolutely on it, flying, and Mercedes and Lewis and Bottas, they weren't as strong as they were, and they weren't as strong as we were used to seeing in previous seasons. They weren't dominating like we expected them to be, and like we've seen literally the last 8 seasons. But at the end of the day, they were still there or thereabouts. They were still challenging Red Bull, just not very strongly, and they had odd weekends. I think Monaco, they were quite poor in Monaco. Azerbaijan as well, they were very poor, and they got a bit lucky. Well, sort of. They really didn't have a great season. And the strategists, I think, from Mercedes this season, they've made some very dodgy strategy calls. And I think that ultimately no one thing has cost Lewis the championship. You can't say the race or the finale cost Lewis the championship. You can't say another occasion cost Lewis the championship. No one incident ever decides the championship, ever. I firmly believe that. So Mercedes, the strategists, they didn't maximise themselves. They didn't maximise what they could have done, and it was strange. They weren't as on it as we're used to seeing. Bottas himself, he started off averagely. He didn't get off to a good start. He was not doing very well at all. I think he was... the fact that Lando Norris was third in the championship for a while really speaks volumes about both Bottas and Perez. We'll get on to Perez in the next video. But he did pick himself up. He started to improve. He overtook Norris in the championship. He got third in the end, and he ultimately helped Mercedes to clinch the Constructors title this year. And that's the crucial thing. Mercedes, they will have wanted to win the Drivers' Championship, but really what they care about most is the Constructors title, because that's where the money is. And as we know, with Formula One and with anything in life, people care about where the money is. It's just a fact of life. Mercedes, they did run into a few issues, didn't they? Brazil, Hamilton's disqualification for the wing, that was a technical fault, I think, mechanical failure or something, and that wasn't good for them at that time. Luckily, Hamilton was still able to take the win in that race, and ultimately, he won the race, so it didn't really cost them that much. There's also a few protests from Mercedes this year. When things are really tight, they're obviously going to protest. I think we don't begrudge them at all. It's just a part and parcel of racing. Especially, with the pit stops, that was a really interesting one, I think. The fact that Red Bull were just so fast with pit stops this year, and Mercedes, they just couldn't keep up, so they put in protest or something, and ultimately reaction times got added. And obviously, with the race, the finale, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, they're gonna protest that. I mean, and I do think a protest is the right way forward. Not because I want to see Max lose the championship. I don't want that to happen. I think they're both, but he deserves it. He is the deserving champion. But the rules definitely need clarification, and they need, to be honest, they need to be rewritten completely, because too often this season, and too often in the past as well, it's just the rules have been exploited. They've been inconsistent. They need rewriting, and I really hope that the protest can, and if they're going to take it to court, the Court of Arbitration for Sport, I really hope that they rule that the rules need rewriting, because they absolutely do. Cannot go on like this. So in the end, it was first for the Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship. You know, they were more focused on the Constructors. I mean, I think really what got Mercedes this Constructors was Bottas. You know, he was just on it more often than Perez was, because Perez has not had a good season, really, in my opinion. So, you know, Mercedes deserved Constructors' Championships. Well done to them. We do say goodbye at the end of this season now to Valtteri Bottas from Mercedes. He's joining Alfa Romeo. Bottas has never really challenged for the championship in his time at Mercedes. He's never been on Lewis's level, but he's never needed to be on Lewis's level. He has always, though, helped Mercedes win the Constructors' title, and that's ultimately what his job was to do. They didn't need somebody to be a George Russell who's coming into Mercedes now, because Lewis had the longevity. Now Lewis is reaching towards the end of his career and might be starting to think about retirement in the next 2 or 3 years. They need to get a younger driver like George Russell into the car, where they can basically just teach him up on fighting for wins, fighting for championships, so that when Lewis does retire, he is ready to take up the mantle. And I think this is going to be a great opportunity for George. So thank you, Valtteri, Kiitos, Valtteri, and good luck to George. And obviously we're going to see the silver return to Mercedes next year, which is interesting. And I quite liked the silver of the Mercedes. The black looked nice, but the silver is what we know them for, so it will be great to see that return. But anyway, guys, this is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys very much for watching. As always, leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. And you can follow me on Twitter at Lap1News1 for all the latest motorsport news. Thanks for watching. This is John Whittaker from Lap1 News, and I'll see you next time.